fine.
Great.
Okay. Just let me know when I can get started.
Okay, introducing Sandra Kelly. Go ahead, Sandy.
Okay. Hi, everyone. How we doing? Sorry for the glitch, but this is Block Island. What can you do? First of all, I want to say thank you to the library for really helping us do these programs. It's really a valuable asset to have these experts, the Zoom experts in the background here. So thank you very much. And everyone make sure you wish a happy birthday to Kristin because it's her birthday today. What I wanted to show you first is if you were part of the last session, we did a pasta called corsetti, which is, actually a very medieval pasta from the Liguria region of Italy and goes way back to medieval times. And at that time, when I made the pasta, I didn't have the corsetti stamps. And so I made them using cookie cutters. I don't know if you remember that, but I did some shamrocks and a few other little shapes of that side. Well, in talking to a friend who also had a friend who was visiting Italy, she asked her to see if she could find corsetti stamp. And this is, I don't know if you can see it or not, but this is what the corsetti stamp looks like. Okay. And what you do is with this part of it, after you roll your dough, of course, you make an impression of a circle.
Oh, she's coming up.
You then turn it over and put the stamp on that circle, and you have beautiful designs. I don't know if you can see this, but this is wheat. I don't know if I can get any closer there. Okay. And this is just a floral design. And back in medieval times, a corsetti stamp really was just the money of the area. So it was a stamp of the coins that they used. So I just thought I wanted to show you these. If you're interested in buying a corsetti, you can get them on Etsy and I can give you the website. Okay. So that's just a little aside. Okay, now to begin today, normally pasta is one thing that we certainly enjoy a lot here, but, and they're usually Italian flavored pasta, but once in a while you get a little wish to taste something a little different. So this is an Asian fusion on really what I call easy bolognese. So let me get started with it. And let me get my glasses so I make sure I'm following. All right. So what I have here, first of all, is just some chopped meat, a pound of chopped meat. All right. And to that, I'm going to add a tablespoon of vegetable oil. And 2 teaspoons of soy sauce. Not my usually addition when I'm making meatballs, but again, sometimes you just need to try some different flavors. All right. 2 teaspoons of Shoshing wine. I did taste this wine because I always taste if I'm putting a new ingredient. I always taste it before adding it. Certainly doesn't taste like the wine I'm normally used to. But we have 2 teaspoons of this Shoshing wine. Okay. And 2 teaspoons of cornstarch.
That's good, right? Gloria's not there. No, Gloria, she not find it?
Okay. Let me just make sure I have everything in here. I have the ground beef, vegetable oil, soy sauce, Sochine wine, and cornstarch. All right, so the next thing we're gonna do is just get our hands into it. And we're just gonna mix it a bit. We're gonna blend it. Not too much, just a little. You don't want to overdo it, just like when you're making meatballs. You don't want to overwork the meat. It just makes it tougher. And we could mix this anyway. Supposedly, I've been told that if you're mixing pork, you need to go in the same directions to keep the strands of fat and meat together. I'm not so sure that's true, but that's what I've been told. But when you're doing chopped meat, you can mix anyway. Okay, that looks fairly incorporated. And now I'm just going to put this aside. Let me just wash my hand. I see Kristin. She's the only one I can see. Happy birthday, Kristin. I hope you're going to celebrate. All right. So now I'm making the sauce. Normally I'm making, there's garlic and onions and tomatoes and tomato paste and all that. Well, this starts with 1 cup of beef broth. Two teaspoons of an oyster sauce. I did taste the oyster sauce. Doesn't taste anything like oysters. I'm not sure why it's called oyster sauce, but again, as I said, usually what I try to do is make sure I'm tasting something before, especially if it's a new ingredient. All right, and soy sauce. We need 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Oh, I think I just read that wrong. I got to go back and add more oyster because it's tablespoons. I did teaspoon. That'll teach me to try to do it without looking at my glasses. Let me make sure. Yeah, definitely was a tablespoon. So there's 3 teaspoons in a tablespoon. I have 2 teaspoons in there. So that's 1 tablespoon. Okay, that goes aside. And 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. You could use regular sugar, but the brown seems to dissolve quicker. So we're just going to mix that up.
Is anything gonna happen? We have to watch.
I hope you can see that. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. So we have our meat set aside and we have our sauce set aside. Again, nothing like my normal kind of sauce. So now you get your wok, which this is really not a true wok, but it's close enough. You can use a large saute pan if need be. All right, so now to this, we're going to heat the wok. Okay. And we're going to wait for a little bit of smoke to come from the pan. And then we're going to add the meat and cook that. Now, the reason why I kind of call it easy bolognese, because bolognese is a meat sauce. It's a ragu. And true bolognese, again, is another one of these kind of peasant meals. You have a little bit of chicken left over, a little bit of pork, a little bit of beef, veal, whatever kind of meat you had, you saved it. And when you had enough, you're actually making a beef or a meat ragu. Some of the recipes, it's made with wine. Some of the recipes, it's made with milk. But, I guess it depends upon whatever region
Well,
Um,
or just
you
an author.
Italy, Italy has about 44 regions, 43 regions. And I don't know if you watched Stanley Tucci. He did, I think, 4 episodes of 4 different regions in Italy. And then they stopped the series, I think, because of COVID. So, you know, Italy is very regional. You can make the same recipe with very different ingredients, just depending upon what region you're in and,
Where you want to give.
you know, just what is available to you at the time. Okay, that's feeling a little hot.
For the wellness thing? No.
No, from the trustees for Christmas gift.
Oh, okay.
No?
It's funny. 'cause,
I
like,
haven't checked
nothing's
my
open.
email all day today, though.
Oh, at the barn, I guess. Nothing else is open.
Yeah, and then I haven't checked my email today, so.
Because
You're
No.
talking?
last night,
Okay.
but yesterday afternoon, Charlene asked me for your email. And I figured she had everybody else's, so I figured that's what she was doing, but maybe she wasn't. I don't know.
Kristen, you need to mute yourself.
We've got a teaspoon of veg oil in here. We're gonna get that nice and hot. Let me just put a little in. No, not quite. Almost. I noticed it. Did I lose you again? No, okay, I think I'm still there. All right, so I noticed in the recipe, has to be a correction. Because after we add the veg oil, we then first cook the meat. Okay, so we cook the meat and then push it aside before we add the onions and the garlic. So just gonna put that in here. Oh, you want that nice sizzle. So, as I said, I'm calling this kind of easy, lazy bolognese because all it has is some ground meat in it. And it's just another nice recipe to do with a little bit of ground meat. If you really don't want to, if you want to do it vegetarian, you can use that. I forget the name of the product, but it's a vegetable meat that, of course, I can't remember the name of it. I have used some of it, but, and I wish some of you I could hear you, so, because I know some of you would know the answer. Okay, that's good. We're getting a little crust on that. Now we're just gonna break it up and cook it through. I need a little music to go along with this. Little music background. Okay, that's almost ready. I'm gonna leave it slightly pink. Okay, so now I'm gonna push it aside. That's what's nice about the wok. Okay, I'm gonna add the onions. And we're just gonna let the onions cook through a bit. While I'm doing that, I'm going to grate, I already grated one. Let me see if I can come over here. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm gonna grate the second one. So there's 2 cloves of garlic. Never have enough garlic. And you could use a garlic press, but I just find this is a lot easier. If you don't have any of these planes, it's really one of the best kitchen tools that you can possibly want to have in your kitchen. And make sure I turned all the lights on in the kitchen around us, because before you know it, it's so dark. Okay. Okay, so my meat and my onions now are softened enough. I'm now going to add the garlic. You don't want to add the garlic in too soon, because you don't want that to burn for sure. Garlic has a good flavor, but not when it's burned. All right, so now I'm going to add my, for me, untraditional sauce. And while that sauce is boiling up, I'm now going to make a slurry. Cornstarch and water, and it's 1 tablespoon of coarse cornstarch to about 2 tablespoons of, and have to make sure that it is a room temperature water. You don't want it in hot water, because you don't want to add lumps to it. So you just keep stirring. I'm sure many of you have made this slurry very often. Okay, it's used to thicken the sauces. Okay. This looks like it's lump free. So now I'm going to add it to this, to the sauce, the ground beef. And to this, I'm going to add a pound of pound of spaghetti. I'm going to take some of this out, because all I did is I cooked a ½ pound. So I will reserve this. This is all ready, and I could just, I can make it with rice, or I don't know if you can see that now, but the sauce is beginning to thicken. I'm going to just take some of this out of here. because this is really way too much for a half pound of pasta. And if I'd taken out too much, I could just add more in. Okay. Now, what I did earlier is I pre-cooked the pasta. So when it goes, only to save some time. Let me just lower that a bit. And just know that the pasta is cooked in a lot of salted, well salted water. Okay. It is really the only way you can get flavor into the pasta. You cannot add salt later to pasta, so make sure. All right. Well, that looks well incorporated. Okay. All right. So let's see what that looks plated up. Okay. Let's see if I could do it at the restaurants and do a little twirl. I didn't quite do that right. Okay. I'm gonna get some of the meat on top of that. Okay. And you can then garnish with, it says green onion, cilantro, or Italian parsley. Cilantro is a flavor that I do not like. So I'll get back to some of my Italian origins and put a little parsley on there. Okay. All right. So that's what the finished dish looks like. Let me taste it. I wish you were here to taste some of it. Spaghetti's a little messy to eat, but you know, just get it on your fork and twirl it. Not quite bolognese, but very good. So I hope you try that. Okay, so I don't know how are we? I have one more recipe, if we're okay on time. I don't know if anyone can answer me back there at the library. I'm going to put this in here. I'm going to clean out my wok because I need it again.
Did you get it?
Yeah, we would love another recipe, please.
All right, because I have my next one is aglio olio, which is the Italian. And
Okay, I'm gonna mute, but that sounds awesome.
okay.
Hello.
I just need to clean out my wok here a little. Okay. Because I don't want to put these flavors in with the next thing, so. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, the Italians call this aglio e olio, which means just garlic and oil. And here it's known as garlic noodles to die for. And by the way, I follow this Asian cook. Her name is Flo Lum, Flolun. She's got all sorts of YouTube videos. I'm really into a lot of YouTube since 2020, I'll tell you. Thank God for YouTube and Netflix. All right, so we're going to use a pound of, well, I'm going to cook a half pound, and I'm going to use spaghettini. So they only take about 5 minutes. So if all works well, we'll do this in 5 minutes. Now, ahead of time, what I did is I finely chopped or grated. It says 6 to 8. I think there's 10 garlic in here. What's nice is this is garlic from our yard. We had a nice crop. So I'm going to cook the pasta, and while that's cooking, we'll do the sauce. So now we're going to put the wok here on a very low heat. Okay. Stop cooking. Gonna have to put a little higher because my stove wants to click at a certain thing. All right, to this we're gonna add 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, 1 tablespoon oyster, 1 tablespoon fish, 1 tablespoon soy sauce, 2 teaspoons of sesame oil, and we're gonna put a little Parmesan cheese at the end. So let me get some of the things over here. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil. Oh, let's try opening the top. Oh, my water is boiling. And okay. 4 tablespoons of butter. Whoa, don't do that. I should have turned the heat down. I've done that many a times where it's boiled over. I'm going to time myself. We'll see. Okay. All right, so I have the butter and olive oil slowly melting in the wok. Oh, what a nice flavor. And it's just butter and olive oil. Okay, I'm now going to add, it's about 3 tablespoons of garlic. Then we want to cook this low and slow. Just a little story about aglio olio. If you are of a Catholic religion, many years ago, Christmas Eve, you could not eat any kind of meat. So a lot of the Italians, their first pasta dish would be the aglio and olio dish. Now you can put a little pepper flake in this, and then it's aglio olio peperoncino. And I think I am, because I do like a little spice. Oh, I wish we had smell-o-zoom. And that's got to saute for a little minute, another minute or so. Okay. All right, so while that's going on, I'm going to make the sauce. Okay. So I'll be right back. I need 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. Sure, my mother would approve of 2 teaspoons of brown sugar in any kind of pasta, but okay. All right, and it's 1 tablespoon of that oyster sauce again. Oh, I put that in there. I should have put that in here. Okay. Fish sauce. Okay. That is 1 tablespoon of fish sauce. Well, even though I have that cooking in with it'll work. You know, and people kind of are a little concerned about fish sauce, but it just gives you an underlying base flavor that you have really no idea that it's there. So don't worry about that. Okay, 1 of soy sauce. Okay. And yep. I didn't open this. I didn't open the sesame oil. Okay. There you go. 2 teaspoons. Yeah, 2 teaspoons. Okay, this time I'll put it in the right container. Sesame oil has a great smell. Okay. I will now add all of this to let me clean up a little bit. Oh, there we go. Perfect timing. By the way, this is really a very loud timer. And the reason why
I can't hear her.
I'm nowhere near the kitchen. And
I don't know.
before I know it, I can easily,
Somebody did something.
so I'm going to add the pasta into here. Oh, this smells heavenly. And literally that timer went off and the pasta is done. This is, by the way, spaghettini, which is a thinner spaghetti. You could use any kind of, I think with these dishes, I think spaghetti is best, but you know, whatever you have in the house. By the way, I went to Shaw's the other day and the pasta shelves are empty again. I think they had a sale, and of course, everything else is getting quite so expensive that I don't blame people for, you know, stocking up on pasta because everything else is mighty expensive. So, all right, so we're just gonna give that a little stir. So this is the Asian version of aglio olio. And I can't wait to try this again. I am gonna add just a little bit of, just a little now, don't look. That's a little pepperoncino. Okay. So let me plate that up. I think one of these days, we need to get, we're able to get together and we all can share in a little bit of tasting. So let's see if we can do a little twirl on that. Not quite, but. Okay, and here's where I'm really loving the recipe. Because you add grated parm on the top. You can never have enough cheese. And you can also garnish with some green onions, some parsley, you know, if you really want to make it look pretty. I'm going to add a little extra cheese. Because cheese and pasta, you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Oh, it does smell heavenly. So let's give it a little taste. Come on, you control that better. You notice I'm not using a spoon to twirl my spaghetti. Most Italians do not use a spoon. Oh, wow. Lots of garlic. That's lots of garlic, but you can minimize the garlic. For me, it's fine. I've got to take one more bite. I hope you don't mind. Are we running late? Oh, no, we're not bad. We're not bad. I have to take one more bite. So that's it. That's my little twist on a couple of Italian type dishes with a little Asian. You know, every once in a while in the winter here, I just wish we had a Thai restaurant because, and I know we can fly it over, but I just would love to go to a Thai restaurant here in the winter time. It'd be nice. I sometimes, for some reason, crave it during the winter. But that's the presentation. Again, there was a correction. On the first one, you have to cook the meat and then put it aside before adding the onion. And if anybody does want the email address, excuse me, the website for the Corsetti stamp.
What do you think? Should I put envelopes like in special?
Yeah. No posters on the next row.
It
next-
is?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so if there's any
All right,
questions,
Peter, right
sorry.
now. Thank you.
But, you know, I'm sorry I can't see anyone. I would love to have people ask questions or stop me along the way if there were any.
It's-
But, you know,
Unmuted. It was, what I got to see of it was really great, man.
well, I'm glad you got to see it. I was getting disappointed that hopefully everyone got to see it. And if anybody has any questions, you can always email me or call me. And but you can see it's very basic. The only new thing to me was this Shoshing wine, and I'm not even sure if I'm saying correctly. Doesn't taste anything like red or white wine that I normally drink. So, but you know, again, it's Asian. And the soy sauce, I'm sure people have used the soy sauce.
Mhm.
It's, excuse me, oyster sauce, not soy sauce. I'm sure people have used that. Doesn't taste anything like oysters, but anyway, well, I hope you enjoyed it. And try some of these new recipes. Well, they're not very new, but try some of these recipes. Change your palate once in a while, but make sure you always go back to Italian. Ciao.
Thanks again. Thank you.
It looks yummy.
Yeah.
Like I said, one of these days we can get together, and Kristin, again, happy birthday to you. And And thank you very much for helping us with the production.
Does anybody want to ask a question? Let me unmute everybody. Ask to unmute, ask to.
I don't even know, I couldn't even see who was on.
That you've had 14 people on at one point.
Oh, that was nice. I'm just sorry that, because I would love, to be able to do a
Yeah.
little more action, but it's just, it is what it is.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
I can.
Why at the beginning did you say that wasn't a real walk?
Well, I mean, a real walk, has
Yeah.
that ring beneath and it's much deeper and whatever, but this is a kind of walk. When I bought it, it did say this is not your typical, walk. I think it's what the material that it's made of.
Oh,
It
great.
does have shape.
Also, a walk always has a rounded bottom, never flat.
Yeah, and this is flat, but you do have that ring that it sits on. And so that's what I said, it's not quite a walk, but you could do this in a saute pan. You don't need to go out and buy a walk unless you really want one, or a pan. I just happened to see this probably in Marshall's. I always go through that area of Marshall's and pick up some sort of pan. And what, another one? We don't have enough pans in the house. So that's the reason why I said that.
Great job.
Thank you. Thank you. It was fun. I'm glad I was able to get through it. It's, as I said, it was too bad we couldn't see everyone, whatever, but, we have our limitations, that's for sure.
It was wonderful, wonderful. Thank you very much for doing it.
You're welcome. Stay well, everybody. Good night now.
Good night.
Bye.
End it.